Anti-gun politicians and anti-gun groups love to gaslight gun owners by saying they're not trying to take your guns, we just want reasonable gun laws, and that the idea of a slippery slope is simply silly, and we're just fear-mongering. We're not fear-mongering, we just know the history of gun control in other countries and in this country, and can see that you all are trying to do the exact same thing here that they did over there. Don't believe me? Come along with me while I break down. Recently, Obama did an interview with CBS Morning where he said this.
In Australia, you had one mass shooting 50 years ago, and they said, oh, we're not doing that anymore. That is normally how you would expect a society to respond.
Anyone want to take a guess what they did in Australia with the guns?
Just 12 days later, the then Prime Minister John Howard pushed through a sweeping set of gun regulations, despite a lack of support from his rural constituency.
I'm sorry about that, but there is no other way. There is no other way.
Within a month, the government passed the National Firearms Agreement, transforming gun legislation in the country.
The hardest thing to do in politics often involve taking away rights and privileges from your own supporters.
The tough new laws banned the sale and importation of all automatic and semi-automatic rifles and shotguns, and perhaps most significantly, called for a massive mandatory gun buyback. Australia's government confiscated and destroyed nearly 700,000 firearms.
What a waste. What a waste. Look at this.
Reducing the number of gun-owning households by half.
Just snapped it. Come on, man. Hey, and listen. If stuff starts hitting the fan, they gonna wish they hadn't thrown all them guns away. Guarantee you that.
People used to say to me, you've violated my human rights by taking away my gun. And I'd say, look, I understand that, but will you please understand the argument? The greatest human right of all is to live a safe life.
New licensing requirements were adopted and a national firearms registry was established. The law says Australians need a genuine reason for having a firearm, such as sport shooting or for agricultural use. It doesn't include self-defence. People must go through background checks and wait 28 days before they can buy a gun.
What?
Must go through shooting or for agricultural use. It doesn't include self-defence. People must go through background checks and wait 28 days before they can buy a gun. The government also spent $375 million to buy back 640,000 civilian-owned guns and then destroyed them.
First, there was a mass shooting, then background checks. Then they created a gun registry. Then they banned semi-autos, and then they confiscated them. That is what Obama is using as an example of what he thinks we should be doing here in the US, but then tells gun owners that the slippery slope thing is silly. Prime example, take Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. In 2010, this is what he said to a group of people.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the clip that he's about to show us, and I actually thought about making a YouTube short on it. I mean, it's wild. I'm sure a lot of you know who Justin Trudeau is. If you don't, he's the Prime Minister of Canada, and I despise the guy wholeheartedly. And, you know, not very long ago, he was saying that, oh, no, we're not going to take away, you know, your guns, blah, blah, blah. Lo and behold, I think it was last year, actually, or the year before last year, he said they're banning the sale and possession of all handguns. And it's weird the way that he says it, too. Like, just watch if he plays the same clip.
Who are making the same arguments we are making right now with respect to these gun control measures being a slippery slope.
Fear in here is that the first step towards registering your guns is just the first step towards taking away guns from everyone. That's never going to happen because here in Canada we have a culture that has grown up with guns and that respects the need to go out into the wilderness and shoot things from time to time.
Now, fast forward to 2020, where he did this.
Effective immediately. It is no longer permitted to buy, sell, transport, import, or use military-grade assault weapons in this country.
Then fast forward again to 2022, where he did this.
Today,
I think this is the one where he breathes really weird while he's talking. Listen.
Our national freeze on handguns is coming into force. From today forward, it is no longer legal to buy, sell, or transfer a handgun in Canada.
Oh, it gets worse. Fast forward again to 2023, and he's now trying to ban hunting rifles.
A 32% increase in violent crime, a 90% increase in gang crime. Murder rates now rising again.
I don't know who this guy is, but at least on TikTok, whenever I'm on TikTok, which most of you know I'm on TikTok because I drop YouTube shorts that, by the way, if you are on TikTok, follow me. But I'm always coming across clips of this guy absolutely owning Trudeau. I don't even know who he is. He's apparently some type of politician in Canada of some sort, but he be going at Justin Trudeau, man. It's crazy.
This year, year after year. And what's his solution? To ban Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle. In fact, he wants to ban hundreds of thousands of hunting rifles and spend hundreds of millions of dollars doing it. Why won't he leave hunters alone and go after the real criminals?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we've been very clear that we are not targeting law-abiding hunters and fishers. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to take the necessary measures to keep Canadians safe while respecting the rights of law-abiding Canadians. That's what Canadians expect. That's what we've been doing.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I get my information from the amendment that his government...
Did he put an earpiece on his ear? Is for any Canadians watching, is that typical for y'all politicians? Or is he getting fed what to say? Let me know in the comment section. That's quite interesting there. You know, I caught that. I don't know. Y'all talk to me.
Mr. Speaker, I get my information from the amendment that his government tabled in the committee.
That's right.
And I have it right here. A list of the firearms that he wants to ban includes the Webley and Scott wild fowl gun. Fowl as in wild turkeys and wild ducks. That's right in the list that his government put forward of guns he wants to ban. Mr. Speaker, why is he more concerned with protecting wild turkeys from hunters than he is concerned about protecting Canadians from criminals?
This is literally the same progression that anti-gun politicians and the anti-gun lobby are trying to do in America. It's so blatant now, it's laughable. But it's not really funny because there are so many people that believe these politicians when they say they're not trying to ban guns and that they just want common sense gun measures. I just walked you through real world examples of this lie in other countries, and the leaders in our country are literally saying we should use the same countries that ban guns as an example of what we should be doing here. The thing is, they think you're so stupid and so slow, they don't think you'll pick up on that. They think you'll just hear, oh, we should take into account what Australia did with their guns and they don't have mass shootings anymore, and therefore we should take that as an example and use it here in America. They don't expect you to actually know what happened in places like Australia. They don't expect you to pay attention to what they're doing in Canada right now. Hell, even our current president sat down with the former New Zealand Prime Minister and said that we needed guidance from her on gun control when she was the Prime Minister.
Which is, I think, a fairly big deal for all of us, and we need your guidance, and it's a pleasure to see you in person.
The same New Zealand Prime Minister who did this.
Today I'm announcing that New Zealand will ban all military-style semi-automatic weapons. We will ban all high-capacity magazines. We will ban all parts with the ability to convert semi-automatic or any other type of firearm into a military-style semi-automatic weapon.
Look, the only reason...
Watching this stuff just makes me want to go out and buy something. Just to buy it. Especially stuff like that, it literally makes me want to go buy, I don't know, what's a full, a Thompson, a Tommy gun is the name that most people are familiar with. It makes me want to go buy one of those rare joints. What is it, pre-1986, right? Is that the proper year? Forgive me, I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to firearms, okay? But it makes me want to go buy one of those rare joints. Just because, Oh, y'all banning fully autos? Well, guess what just happened, baby? Just purchased one myself. Hey, listen. if any of y'all, know where I can possibly legally, okay, legally purchase, Thompson, Mac 10, Uzi, let me know. I might be interested, just because they say, oh no, we don't like those. Just because they say they don't like them. Yeah, I'll buy one. Legally. Okay, I want to make that clear. We ain't doing nothing under the table. We doing everything legal around here, all right? Legally. Okay, make that clear. Goodness gracious.
The reason this hasn't happened in America is because the U.S. is run by its people, not soft tyrants and dictators. Long story short, our leaders have to convince us to give up our 2A rights because our 2A rights are protected in our Constitution. So the only way the anti-gun lobby and its politicians can get to our 2A rights is if we give it to them. And the way they do this is by lying to you and saying it's for your safety and that they just want to pass reasonable common sense gun laws.
I'm sorry to pause this again, but I've said the same thing. They use the for your safety argument with a lot of things now. If you noticed and paid attention, and I've made several videos talking about that before, but it's just interesting to see somebody else pointing it out too. For your safety. Yeah, all right. I'll be my own safety. How about that? I don't need you to keep me safe. I will keep myself safe. Or should I say, we the people will keep ourselves safe. And by we the people, I don't mean what Joe Biden was saying in the YouTube short that I dropped. I mean us, the actual citizens, not the government. The citizens will keep ourselves safe. All right? Simple and plain.
Laws. But as I demonstrated to you here in this video and time again, it is a lie. They are lying to you. They inevitably want to get to the point where they can ban guns. That is their ultimate goal. And they do it one step at a time. They do it in such a way to convince you to take the first step by lying to you. So if you're watching this video and you're someone who's kind of on the fence and you're in the middle about the gun issue and you're trying to understand where you want to lie in this issue, understand they lie to you. Common sense gun measures is BS. They know the stats. They know they don't work. But their goal isn't to keep you safe. Their goal is to gain control over you. And they do this by taking away the most effective means you have to protect yourself. And I know it's easy to think, I would never have to protect myself from the government. Yes, that is
yeah, you may have eventually.
very lofty idea to take on. But there's a reason why founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment in the first place, because they did just that, to protect themselves from that government and to establish.
It's how we're all here.
This government here in America. And they understood that the only way that people can remain free is to have the threat of an armed civilization. And in the moment you get rid of that deterrent, the government has no incentive to treat you other than like a slave. Guns aren't.
Facts. That's facts. That's facts. And scary at the same time, because like he said, we could very well be slaves if we just hand them over. And to see some young folks just be so blind to that fact is also scary. And it's also why we need to get Uncle Trump back in office ASAP and fix the schooling system and stop this indoctrination crap. And one example is the AR-15, right? That Democrats love to put on the table whenever anything crazy happens. Oh, we need to ban the AR-15. Ban the AR-15. Well, statistics show, the last time that I checked, if I remember correctly, that most people aren't put in most people that are put in pine boxes by firearms, most of them aren't put in there by, via an AR-15. Yeah. I want to say that number is like less than 5%. So why would you want to ban a weapon that is harming this number of people? Why? I'll tell you why I think it is, and I think Colion Noir even touched on it before in the previous video. It's because once you ban the AR-15, it makes it a whole lot easier to then come back and ban the handgun that is actually doing the damage. Oh, well, we took care of the AR-15. Well, the handgun is killing this amount of people. Guys, look at the numbers. That's when they'll bring the numbers out. That's when they'll show the statistics. They don't want to show you the numbers. Now, I have yet to see a politician, when they're making the gun argument, banning AR-15s, bring out a statistics you'd say, look at this. This is how many people die from an AR-15. I have yet to see it. Maybe it's happened. Have any of you guys seen it? Let me know, because I haven't seen it yet. But I guarantee you, if they manage to ban the AR-15, they will do that with handguns. They will flash the stats in our faces. And then they may show the AR-15 stats, right? If you guys thought this was bad, look at these numbers. Man, this stuff is crazy. Yeah. All I can say is hide your kids, hide your wife. If they manage to ban firearms, it's going to get real hectic out here. Real crazy. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single last one of you guys watching get to this point. I mean, thank you so much. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. All right. It's a small gesture, but it really does help out. Peace and love. Oh, and check out that video right over there too. I mean, what am I doing? Click that. Click it. Come on. Stay with me. I'm out.